Are you Puke or Snot?
I'm the taller one.
Seriously, which one are you?
It really doesn't make any difference. The names aren't important.
Then why use names that are provocative?
Provocative? Puke and Snot? Those are not provocative names, not in the least. We were going to call the act Neil and Bob until a friend of mine asked me if that was our name or what we did. That was an element of confusion we really didn't need, so we went with Puke and Snot.
Good point. How did you two meet?
I was sitting at the bar at Jimmy Hegg's on 2nd Avenue and 4th Street in Minneapolis in the early 70s. A guy sits down next to me. He looked terrible. He had greasy hair, he was drunk, disheveled, he smelled like John Wayne Gacy's basement. He looked over at me and he said, "I'm an actor." I said, "Of course you are." He said, "We should work together." I said, "At what?" He said, "We'll think of something." He was absolutely repugnant. But there was something in his eyes, a certain psychotic clairvoyance that some medieval court jesters were said to possess. He was obviously unbalanced, he was probably homeless, but I was intrigued.
And this turned out to be Snot.
No, it was Nick Nolte. He was working in Minneapolis at the time at the old log. Snot was sitting in a booth on the other side of the bar.
So who came up with the idea of two guys in tights doing warmed over vaudeville with swords and vegetables?
That's never been clear. I'm pretty sure it wasn't my idea. I remember having many better ideas than that back in the 70s. This one I think I would have rejected out of hand had I been sober.
But it turned out to be a pretty good one.
Have you seen the show? We're still doing 5 shows a day in the woods and we don't have an agent. Every weekend from June through October we stare humiliation in the face and say, "Don't I know you?"
But you still attract large crowds and people do seem to think the act is pretty funny.
People are amazed at how lifelike we look. Shakespeare wrote, "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy." This act may well be one of them. How do you explain the Tyra Banks show?
How many more years do you think you guys will be doing this?
It's fascinating because theoretically there should be no audience at all for what we do. We'll know when it's time.